and a mother. So if a woman is healthy, she will raise or she will give birth or she will raise a healthy child or she will raise a healthy family. If women is not healthy, women of the family who's taking care of the family, family members, her children, if she is not healthy or she is not doing her, is not able to perform her role well, I mean, everybody in the family would be suffering. So soil provides, so how do soils give healthy plants? Healthy soils give healthy plants. Because soils are the reservoir of nutrients. So except 3 nutrients that are carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, which plants get from air and water, all other macro and micronutrients are supplied by the soil. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, magnesium, calcium. These are the macronutrients which are required in larger amounts by the plants to grow and to function properly. And the micronutrients are boron, copper, iron, chloride, manganese, molybdenum, zinc. So these are the micronutrients. So these nutrients are provided to the plants by soil. Soil also gives anchorage to plant roots. So that stabilizes the plants. Soils also provide plants with water, because the soil pores or the pore spaces in the soil, they hold air and water, and air and water are required by plants to perform important life functions. So ultimately, when we say that we want to produce healthy plants, we actually need to focus on healthy soils, because healthy soils will produce healthy plants. Soil health. Now, what is soil health? So this is a long definition given by Food and Agriculture Organization. But basically, it is just saying that healthy soil is one that is doing its functions properly, that is functioning right. So it is able to sustain plant and animal productivity. It is maintaining or enhancing water and air quality, promoting plant and animal health. So we have already discussed how it is promoting plant health, how it is promoting animal health, because animals are depending on plants for foods, not carnivores but herbivores, and ultimately carnivores are also getting the energy that is produced by, energy that is being accumulated by plants, because plants are eaten by herbivores and herbivores are being eaten by carnivores, and that's how the food web goes. Healthy soils maintain or enhance water and air quality. So as water infiltrates through the ground, it actually the soil acts as a filter. If it is a good soil, if the soil has a good structure, it has right pore space, it is filtering the toxins, or there are many organisms in the soil that are degrading the toxins in the soil. So that's how it is maintaining air and water quality. Soils also are sink to carbon dioxide in the air. They are sequestering the carbon dioxide in the air. So they are also maintaining air quality. Now, what are the qualities of healthy soil? Now, here we have 2 soil samples, and just by looking at it, so what do you think? Which soil looks good to you, and which do you think is not a great soil?
Right one on the right.
So right one looks good soil to you, right?
Yeah.
So why does it look, I mean, just looking at it, how can you just say?
Dark colors, it has
Yes.
nice matter in there, and oh yeah, it feels good.
Yes, exactly, right. So the darker the soil is, generally it is said that the darker the soil, the more organic matter it has. We will discuss how organic matter matters in the soil. we are going to go into that. But yes, you can see that the soil over here, over the left, it doesn't have a good structure. It is like cemented piece of soil. You know, you cannot see pore spaces. But the other one over the right, you can see it has a good structure, pore spaces. You can see organic matter in that soil. So what are the qualities of healthy soil? Healthy soil contains high level of organic matter. And further, like the slides, as we go down the as we move forward with the presentation, many slides are going to be like I'm going to again and again going to stress on organic matter, and organic matter. Why does it matter in the soil? So it contains high level of organic matter, and it accommodates active and diverse population of beneficial organisms. Actually, the organic matter in the soil is feeding the microbes in the soil. And then microbes are responsible for the health and productivity of the soil. Functionality, they are the major contributors to functionality of the soil. And the more is the population of beneficial microorganisms, the less would be the presence of pathogenic microorganisms, because the beneficial are going to overpower and they're going to compete with the pathogenic microorganisms like protozoa. Protozoa eats harmful fungi in the soil, or pathogenic fungi in the soil. Healthy soil also contains low level of toxic compounds. So the better the soil is, the healthier the soil is, it will have low levels of toxins, because good soil will have abundant population of beneficial microorganisms, and they are going to degrade the toxins present in the soils. It supports adequate but not excessive level of nutrients. Now, excess of everything is bad. Sugar tastes very good, but excess is bad, right? So we do need nutrients, but excess of nutrients is a waste of resources. It's waste of labor, it's waste of time, it's waste of money. It is a waste for the environment, and it is going to degrade our environment. A presence of excess nutrient, it is going to be detrimental to the plant health. We just need right proportion of nutrients in the soil. We do not need excess. It has sufficient pore space to permit air and water infiltration. Healthy soil has rich pore space. So the pores in the soil, they store water, they store air, and air and water are required for proper metabolic functioning of plants, proper functioning of microbes in the soil. And the pore space is going to allow the rainfall or irrigation water to infiltrate through the soil. So the plant's roots can take up the water from the soil. It has good tilth that allows plant roots to easily penetrate large volume of soil. Now, plant roots need space to expand, to increase their biomass. If the good soil has good tilth, that will allow plant roots to easily, expand and increase their biomass. Now, organic matter matters. Organic matter is very important when we talk about soil health. So when we are talking about soil health, or we say, I'm sure like you would have heard the phrase, like feed the soil, don't feed the plant. So when we say feeding the soil, we are actually referring to feeding the soil microbes. And how do we feed soil microbes? We just provide them organic matter. That's what they need. So organic matter not only feed the microbes, but it also provides good structure to the soil. It provides the required porosity. It provides. It is a reservoir of nutrients. It provides nutrients for plants. It provides nutrients for microorganisms. It provides structure to the soil, and it helps. The more the organic matter, the more the soil would be able to retain water. So sand is devoid of organic matter. Can it retain water? No, it cannot. So it's not good for plant growth. So why 1 teaspoon of soil contains more living organisms than there are people in the world. 1 teaspoon of soil. So that's why we say soil is alive. So we have to make sure we are treating it properly, we are treating it right, so that we can get the benefits we need. So this over here, this is a very nice book by Dr. Ratan Lal. He's a distinguished professor in soil science at Ohio State University, and he's recognized in the world for his pioneering work on soil improvement. And he talks about how soil organic matter is important to feed the future, how soil organic matter is related to biogeochemical cycling or nutrient cycling, water cycling cycling on this planet, or vegetation, organisms, how organic matter is related to climatic parameters and life in general. This book is worth reading, I would say. Soil microbes. Soil microbes are the key contributors to soil and plant health. They drive soil nutrient cycling and make nutrients available to plants. So, I mean, there are minerals in the plants like sand, silt, and clay. These are the 3 components of, when we talk about soil texture, we determine soil, silt, and clay. But the minerals in soil, silt, and clay, they are not available to plants to uptake. So, the presence of organic matter contains available nutrients, plant available nutrients that are accessible to the plants and that can be utilized by plants for their growth. Organic matter drives soil nutrient cycling because it is feeding the microbes, and microbes are going to do that work of decomposing the organic matter or decomposing the matter that is, decomposing the organic matter in the soil and mineralizing the organic matter in the soil so that the nutrients can release and it can be available for plant to uptake. Soil microbes protect plants from diseases. As I said, presence of beneficial microorganisms in the soil, it is going to affect or reduce the presence of pathogenic microorganisms in the soil. And that is going to further have a benefit effect on the plant health. Soil microbes degrade soil pollutants. So we have talked, as I'm moving forward, I will be again and again repeating the same things. It's all going down to the organic matter and soil microbes. They degrade soil pollutants, they improve soil structure. Managing soil health, 4 principles. These are the 4 principles of soil health, and they focus on increasing the organic matter content in the soil. Minimize disturbance. Maximize soil cover. Optimize biodiversity. Maximize the presence of living beings. Now, what does that mean? And how are these principles focusing on increasing organic matter content of soil? So, minimize disturbance. First is minimize disturbance. So, disturbance can be in 3 forms. It can be physical disturbance when we till the soil. It can be biological disturbance when this soil is being overgrazed by animals, and it can be chemical disturbance when we are adding or we are overusing synthetic fertilizers or pesticides. All these things are hampering or reducing the content of organic matter in the soil. So we have to make sure that we minimize the disturbance. I'm sure you would have somewhere read or maybe heard about no-till systems. So basically basically, I mean, as we came to know that tillage, or when there was research going on no-till and till system, it was found that the no-till systems did better in terms of organic matter and better in terms of microbial diversity in the soil, and even plant health or plant yields with 2 or 3 years down in the lane when the results were seen. So, I mean, no-till, how is it affecting the organic matter in the soil? When we are tilling in the soil, we are exposing soil to air. So, what happens when soil is exposed to air? The organic matter oxidizes into carbon dioxide. It becomes, it becomes vulnerable to or prone to erosion. Organic matter is becoming prone to erosion. And also it is increasing the activity of microbial population in the soil, and they, in the presence of air, they quickly degrade the organic matter. We do need degradation of organic matter, but we do not need the organic matter, the nutrients in organic matter to be instantly available to the plants. We need them to break down with course of time. So when the plants need them, they should be there. But when plants don't need them, we don't need nutrients just running around in the soil. Because they are going to leach in the groundwater, they are going to run off in the surface water, and that's going to be problematic. Maximize soil cover. So when we maximize soil cover, we are actually talking about, keeping the residue on the soil, or keeping the cover crops in the soil, so that the land is not fallow at any time, so that land is not prone to erosion, land is not prone to, soil is not prone to oxidation, so it can keep the ground cover and protective cover on the soil, and it can protect the soil microorganisms. And also increasing the soil cover increases the biomass in the soil. So more biomass, more nutrients available for the microorganisms to grow. So organic matter does not only provide nutrients, but it also provides favorable environment or favorable habitat for organisms to grow. Optimize biodiversity. So plant biodiversity is very important. That's why we stress on intercropping rather than monocropping. All these things, they are contributing to the soil health, soil organic matter. Maximize the presence of living roots. So more the living roots in the soil, the better the soil would be. Because, so what are plants actually doing? Plants are taking in carbon dioxide and generating food. And that food so microorganisms get food from the plants because the roots are secreting organic acids, the roots are secreting sugars that are being utilized by microorganisms. It is a fact that 10 to 40% of the carbon, carbon that is fixed by the plants during photosynthesis, it is released from the roots, and it will get stored into the soil as carbon. So we want to increase the presence of living roots to increase soil carbon, to increase soil organic matter. Now, cover crop and organic amendments. They are focusing on cover crops and organic amendments, using cover crops and organic amendments. What are cover crops? Cover crops are planted, as the name says, cover crops are planted to provide ground cover and to protect soil, so that soil is not fallow. These cover crops may be interseeded, or they are usually grown, not in the cropping season, because in cropping season we have cash crops going on, and the time when we keep our soil fallow, we could use that land to plant. We could plant cover crops, and we shouldn't leave our land fallow. So how does it benefit? It improves soil health, it prevents soil erosion, it suppresses weed growth in the, because the cover crops are going to compete with the weeds for the nutrients, for the space, for water. And that's how they're going to check on the growth of weeds in the land or in the soil. Control pests and diseases. They can be used as green manures. So what are green manures? When we just still in or when we just incorporate the cover crops in the soil, we say that's the green manure because we are incorporating them, and that residue, plant residue, is going to serve as organic matter in the soil. They can be used as forage crops too. So types of cover crops, we can have legumes, clover, cowpeas, alfalfa. So how do legumes, they help in nitrogen fixation. So they have beneficial rhizobium bacteria in the root nodules, which fixes nitrogen from the atmosphere. And it has, I mean, there has been a lot of research carried on leguminous plants and leguminous cover crops and how the use of these cover crops can reduce the use of nitrogen fertilizers. So we can just depend upon these crops rather than depending upon synthetic sources of nutrients. Broadleaf non-legumes, buckwheat, marigold, mustard. Then we have grasses, ryegrass, oats, barley, etc. So grasses, they increase root biomass, they have greater root biomass, and they can increase organic matter content in the soil. Organic soil amendments. Organic soil amendments are material derived from biomass that is added to soil to enhance its properties. So, organic soil amendments, and soil fertilizer. The difference in amendments is that amendments not only provide nutrients like soil fertilizers do, but they also serve as soil conditioners. They are conditioning the soil. They are improving the physical, chemical, and biological properties of the soil. But the soil fertilizers, they are just providing nutrients to the soil. We need other things as well, except the nutrients, not only nutrients, we need other things. We need good structure for plant growth. We need a good pore space for plant growth. Plants just don't need nutrients. Nutrients are one of the major components, but there are other things as well which is required. So when we are talking about, when we use fertilizers, we are actually just providing nutrients to the plant. But when we are using soil amendments, we are fertilizing the whole system. That is going to give us good yields and good plants are healthy plants. So we have compost, we have shredded tree bark, wood ash, leaf mold, various types of manures we can use, peat moss, and then there are bioinoculants as well, which are microorganisms which we can use. We can use mycorrhizal preparations, and those are also considered to come under organic soil amendments. Now, choosing the soil amendment, factors to consider. First of all, I mean, because I have been stressing so much about organic matter, increasing organic matter in the soil, do we really need to, think about that if I have a farm, do I need to make choice for what organic matter should I apply, or any kind of organic matter would serve, because organic matter is always good, right? But that is not true. There are certain considerations, and we need to make sure that soil amendment is right for our farm or our crops. So what factors do we consider? And then I will talk about how those factors are important. The impact on long-term organic matter levels. So compost. So for example, compost. So the nutrients in the compost are not immediately available to the plants. Whereas compared to in comparison to manure, the nutrients are very readily available to plants. So you have to decide that, you have to consider this factor, that what will be the long-term impact of the that particular amendment that you are thinking of applying to your farm on the organic matter level. Soil texture, coarseness or fineness of the soil. So, for example, if you have sandy soil, you would be looking at applying fibrous organic matter that can provide good structure to the soil. And so these are some things that you need to look into. Soil nutrient, pH and salt levels. You should be aware of the condition of your soil. What are the nutrient levels in your soil? What is the alkalinity or acidity of your soil? What are the salt levels? Because manure or some other organic materials like wood ash, they can increase salt level in your soil. So increased salinity can be detrimental to plant health too, because it will make certain nutrients unavailable to plants. Salt content, nutrient levels, organic matter content of the amendment. So, I mean, you need to know your soil, but you also need to get the organic amendment tested for its nutrient levels, for its pH. That's how you're going to make the comparison or determine whether that would be appropriate for your soil. And then ultimately comes down to crop requirement. What does your crop need? So don't guess, get a soil test. So soil test provides current quantitative information on the nutrient profile of a given soil. It is going to tell you what are the nutrient levels in your soil. Soil analysis report data should be compared to established optical benchmarks of soil fertility when developing soil amendment plans. So if you are going to, if you are thinking of applying soil amendments, you have to, the soil test report is going to compare the results of your soil test with the optimum levels, and the optimum levels are considered based on what crop you are interested in growing. So optimum levels for blueberry may not be optimal levels for wheat, because they are going to take up different, their nutritional requirement is different. Periodic monitoring will show whether you are depleting or accumulating soil nutrients. So we need to have multiple, for multiple years we should be doing soil tests, like first year, second year, so that you can keep track of if your management plan is working. Is it increasing the organic matter level in the soil? It is increasing the nutrient or whatever your soil is deficient in. Is it providing that nutrients to the soil? Is it really working for your soil? So over time, indicative changes in fertility management are needed. Understand your needs. Now this is a very journal. So this is how a soil test looks like. So this is a soil test from my 15-acre vegetable. So this is a hypothetical question. So I have a 15-acre vegetable farm. I really hope I have it sometime in my life. I'm able to own a farm. That's my dream. But yeah, so I have a 15-acre vegetable farm. My friend who has a horse manure, horse farm offered to give me free manure. Since horse manure contains adequate amount of organic matter, should I apply it on my farm? So this is a question for you. I mean, you have to tell me based on the test. So I have pH of 8. That means it's written over there that it's moderately alkaline. But because I'm getting free manure, I mean everything free, you want to take it, right? So this is free. So and also because I know that organic matter is so beneficial to soil. Do you think I should just take his horse manure and apply it on my farm?
No.
Yes. Do you have
So yeah, I mean somebody else saying the same thing. No, because.
So why do you think? If you say no, what are the
It
reasons?
looks like you have plenty of nitrogen, and that would probably be the biggest factor as far as.
Anything else?
As glad you remembered.
Yes, yes, that's why I included, I mean, specifically, because here I've seen, I mean, people are kind of, like, people are obsessed with maize and corn and soybean in US. I've seen people are obsessed with soybean and corn. Similarly, I've seen here people in Arizona, they love horse manure. They're like, everybody is in applying horse manure in the farm.
So I was going to say, we have farmers right now that are dealing with this exact situation where they have super alkaline soils.
Yeah.
They're putting a ton of horse manure on their properties. And then the weed presence after several years is insane. And they just keep compounding it over and over again. And then you start getting a ton of phosphorus, potassium over time. And how do you scale back from that now? And how long does it take you?
So based on this test, so phosphorus, you can see it's very high. We do not need extra phosphorus. It is going to be problematic to us, for our plants, for our soil, for our environment. So because we are getting something for free doesn't mean we need it. So pH, we can say it's alkaline, already alkaline. Horse manure is rich in phosphorus. So according to this test, we should not be applying any kind of manure for at least 5 years if we want to make our soils, we want to turn our soils back to like good pH levels, and we shouldn't be applying at least for 5 years, not any kind of manure. Yes, so this is another question. So this is a soil test from my brother's vegetable farm. The other farmers in his area are applying wood ash as a soil amendment. Now because other farmers are applying, so we generally tend to follow, because they are doing this, we want to do that as well. I don't know what, benefit might they get, and we won't be getting those benefits. So what do you think, wood ash? So I will just give you a hint here. Wood ash is acid, it is acidic, but wood ash has high levels of salts in it. So if you look at the conductivity, it's already very high. We shouldn't be applying wood ash. We shouldn't apply wood ash in this one. So remember, feed the soil, do not feed the plant. To nourish soil, add organic matter. But before you do anything, get a soil test. That's how I'm going to conclude my first talk here. Yeah, I hope that was a little bit informative.